Okay, good morning. Today is Tuesday, August 30th, and this is Tuesday Talks, a weekly gathering with church communicators to talk about what's coming down the pike, ask questions, learn from each other, give each other some tips, what have you. This week, I'm really excited to get started with a little how-to demo by our own Jeremy Crawford. He's the assistant communications editor. I'm forgetting his title, sorry. He showed me a little bit about, I don't know if you all knew, he used to work for Google for a little bit. I don't remember exactly what he did there, but he showed me a little bit about what he learned there. I asked for just a basic. I don't need to know all the super technical stuff. Just wanted to see, could this be something that our churches might be interested in? And not every church is worried about their SEO or search engine optimization, how to make their web pages pop up first when somebody does a Google search on a topic that they posted about, or looking for worship near me or something like that. So it's not a huge deal if you're not working on that. But in case you were wondering or thinking about doing something with that, I thought this demo might be helpful. And if you're working on it, then you could maybe learn something new. So without any more wasting of your time, I'm going to hand it over to Jeremy to dazzle us with what he knows. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Thank you. Wonderful introduction, by the way. How you guys doing this morning? I'm just going to do a quick run through for SEO. The importance she had mentioned, basically, you're trying to appeal to the Google algorithm. So you're using certain wording in a certain order for how you pop up. So the whole goal of this is basically to get to the first page of the Google search, because, if any of us say looked in the local sandwich shop, we would typically look at the first page. So it's basically kind of getting friendly, if you will, with the Google algorithm with certain words and whatnot. So without further ado, I will share my screen. Let's see here. So basically, when I say this, I mean, you're looking for keywords. Basically, when keywords are when you search something, basically, you're looking for the most brief and direct words to get it, basically. So what I do is I use the Google Ads tool, if you will, online. Now, it'll kind of prompt you to put your payment information at first. Don't be alarmed. It's literally just to have an account. If you ever want to make one of these, just immediately pause it once you've created it. But what it basically does is it gives you access to how you can use Google to kind of better optimize your site. So once you get in here, if you don't have these options up here, there'll be a little bar that says show expert mode. That's the first thing you want to do, is make sure that you click that. And with that, you'll have all these options right here. Google Ads. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry. Would you do the Control Plus a few times to zoom in so we can see it a little bit better? Thanks.
Good call. Thank you. Can you guys see better?
Awesome. Yes, thank you.
Sweet. So, like I said, this tool is to make an ad. Typically, unless you guys want to make ads, you can. But what I really use it for is just to kind of better word my site so that it pops up on Google. So, what you're going to do is you're going to hit Tools and Settings, and then you'll click on Keyword Planner right here. And right here, you're going to click Discover New Keywords. And so for this, we can do, let's see, Hispanic ministries. That's the page I'm working on. Ministries. And right here, you're just going to type in and press enter with anything that you can kind of think of. I typically start with like 3 to 5 and let it do most of the work. Let's see.
How about ethnic?
Ethnic ministry, that's good. Ministries. And then if you're really trying to kind of key in to say, what are people in Phoenix really searching? You can even dial that more down to the local demographic. So the way that you do that is you kind of hit right here. And then right here, it's got it as you can see, through the entire country. So you kind of get rid of that. We can put in Phoenix, Arizona. You can go, as local cities, even the address if you want. You just would type it in here. But just to save time, we'll just do Phoenix. And then right here, you can put in the URL of your website. I typically recommend to do that because what it does is AI kind of does a blanketed search over your website, pulls a better understanding, maybe some things that we missed. For instance, in this case, I would have failed to put ethnic ministries. And so if I would have done those two, maybe it would have pulled it up. So we'll put dscumc.org. If you ever want to adjust any of these, you can just go right here. But right here, it's just saying from the months of August and July, from August 2021 all the way up to July 2022. So the last year, these are kind of what we're looking at. So Hispanic ministries, ethnic ministries, these are the top ones. Competition, you kind of want to look at between the size and then also competition. So for some of these, if it's 10 to 100, but it's got low competition, that means that it's, got a fair chance. But in this case right here, YOY change is the year-to-year change, and this is the 3-month change. You can see right here that this particular one, Hispanic church, has gone down 90%. So most likely you don't want to use that. You want to see things with the plus percentage and the year-to-year average. This particular example doesn't have too many, but typically you really want to shoot for the 1 to 10,000 range or the 10 to 100,000 range. And those will be located right here with the more popular search. But yeah, so that's basically how you do it. So what you would want to do is you would just grab these. And then if you use, for instance, for us, it would be WordPress. Let me move you guys out of the way. Let's see. You would kind of put them in when you, when you do your SEO, which is typically for us, it would be further down here. I don't know why it's showing such a weird view, but let's see here.
Well, and that part's pretty custom to us. Each church might be using a different plugin than what we're using. We actually just switched to a different plugin as of like 2 days ago, or maybe it was Friday, but Jeremy was out of the office then, so that's why he doesn't know about it.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No.
Hey, guess what? We changed something, Jeremy.
Great news. But yeah, that's basically how it is. I mean, if you're ever just wondering, how you guys stand or kind of certain ones that you're using, by all means, you can use this. Typically, and like she said, if there's a different editing platform, you want to put it in the title of either the page, like the keyword in that, or a big part of like the description, or even like the slug, which is essentially like this part where it's like ads.google and then all this. You can do like backslash. We have, for instance, Hispanic ministries or Hispanic Latino ministries. So those type of things where you kind of put these in there would kind of boost your exposure, put you to the top of Google, if you will. And then also it's a great thing to do as well for if you're actually running an ad, but we can, go through that another time if you guys are interested in seeing if you can promote an event or something, and then use this tool right here. But it's totally free. Like I said, all you have to do is just set it up. It'll prompt you to make your own like default ad at first, so don't be alarmed. But once you finish it, put your payment information, you just pause it, and then you have access to all this research right here.
So it was really easy to set it up. Like I said, Jeremy walked me through it. And I did get a little bit nervous, like, well, why do I have to put my credit card information? I thought you said this was free. It's like, that's the very first thing we're going to do is just go in there and pause it. That's the first thing. Don't touch anything else, just pause. Like, okay, so we did that. And then, I was able to access all the tools that he just demonstrated. It's very easy. You know what? One of the things that I learned about SEO is, besides once you've got those keywords and you figure out what's more valuable and, what can help your ranking in the Google search is in addition to using those keywords if you have that in your website, something that helps you enter keywords in a spot, it's not something that that keywords thing normally isn't something that you type in with like white text or something in your article. But I don't know if any of you have heard of that as a practice. What you can do or should do is consider using some of those keywords in the title of that page. Then it's even more like, oh yes, like you get, depending on the type of plugin you have for your SEO, you kind of get a grade of how well your post or page is going to rank in a Google search. So if you use those keywords as part of your title, that's going to be better. If you use those keywords as part of the content that's in your text, maybe if you can put it in as a question and then you add the answer right afterwards, that's pretty valuable. But yeah, the plugin, that's something separate that really you wouldn't see those keywords in your title or the content. And I mean, I wish I had a plugin to demo for you guys to see, but I think you get it. It's not part of what you would see on your page or your content, but it is also helpful. So even if you don't have a plugin that you can use to enter search engine keywords into your page or post, you can do this same process to find the keywords for something that you're going to publish about. Maybe it's a community event. Maybe it's the church rummage sale, whatever it is. And, revise your web page or article post about it that's on your web page so that it uses those keywords in the title and ideally in the content as well. Questions about that? Let me make sure I'm looking at everybody. Okay.
I guess my question was one that David had in the chat, and that's which plugin did you guys just switch to in the last couple of days?
Oh, yeah. Let me check and see here. So I just learned about it myself. Oh, it's called Rank Math SEO.
Okay. All one word, Rank Math?
No, two separate words. Sorry, 3 words. Rank Math SEO.
SEO. Okay. Great. Thank you.
Yeah. And that one's one of the ones that does give you kind of a number out of 100, how well you're doing. And it gives you recommendations on, add a focus keyword to your SEO title, add a focus keyword to your meta description, or a focus keyword in the URL, or in the beginning of the content, or else in the content. And if your content isn't long enough, it recommends that you use, I think it's like 600 words. So like if you have a super short, like maybe 3 or 4 sentence post about an event that's coming up or whatever, one of the recommendations I've seen is it does say that it's pretty short. Consider somehow, I don't remember what it says exactly, but to using at least 600 words. I was under the impression that shorter is better, but yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay. Any other questions? And thank you, David. We did used to use Yoast SEO. That's YOAST SEO. I'm not really sure why we switched to Rank Math over Yoast. We have website developers that are remodeling our website right now, and that's what they switched us to. So I didn't really ask questions about why, other than when we had Yoast, I didn't know all the ins and outs as well. I'm really liking the way Rank Math works for someone that's not really a heavy SEO. I mean, honestly, I know something about SEO, but I'm not at all a wizard in it or anything. I'm just a novice. So I felt like Rank Math, when I saw it and I started to use it, it explains everything pretty clearly. So I really appreciated that. Yoast does too, but I don't know, the wording isn't quite as clear. You're left a little bit guessing, like, okay, so do I do this? Did that help? Where Rank Math, it was very straightforward, very helpful. Okay, so next slide. Thank you very much, Jeremy. It was an awesome demo. Appreciate that. Okay, the next step I want to show you all. And by the way, if there happens to be something else that you want to dive into and do a little quick demo just to get a feel for, well, what's this all about? shoot us an email with that. Maybe one of us knows something about it, or we know someone like David Topping that knows something about it. So we could always do a quick demo. And then if it's something you're really, really interested about, we could always work on doing a training session down the road, or, I don't know, something else, maybe an article, I don't know. Okay. So next item was, are you getting a bill from a website company, but you're not sure if you should pay it? I know at the Desert Southwest Conference, we used to get something all the time that was something about, I think it was like a domain name registry renewal fee or something, but it wasn't from a company that we used at all. And luckily David Topping's here, because maybe you remember. It doesn't, probably doesn't matter what the name of the company was, but because I don't remember what it was. I just know that it had nothing to do with what we were doing. And we'd get this thing every so often in the mail. It looked pretty legit. And first time that I ripped it up and threw it away, I know I was nervous, but David already had plenty of experience with that one and knew, like, yeah, we don't do anything with that. You can throw it out. One of our churches recently discovered something like this. They had received I thought it was an email, but no, it was also something in the mail that said, hey, your renewal's coming up. And they didn't know, this church didn't know if it had any, is this legitimate? Is it not legitimate? Because the church administrator that was working there before, when they first set up the website, was no longer working there. So they didn't have that history or knowledge of, what all do we need to pay? Also, because I think that at this church they had started potentially, I thought that maybe this church started their website with a grant. And so you wouldn't have that payment information, that reoccurring invoice history. So for that reason as well, they didn't have information about what's legitimate, what's not. So last week, I think it was, we did the process that Jeremy demoed on how to find out where your church website is hosted, where your domain name is registered, and none of the items that popped up had any connection at all to this company that the church was talking about. So what do you do at that point? Do you rip it up, or what do you do? What we did was we researched that company name in the Better Business Bureau website, and from there, that was all we needed. We discovered there was tons of complaints about that company posing as a website registrar, I think it was. And, so we knew, okay, this isn't legit. You don't need to worry about it. You can throw it away. So that was that. But then now that we're on a journey on trying to figure out, well, so then when the bill is due, who's it going to come from? Where, so we're working on that. But just make sure that, that it was just a quick tip, idea, whatever. If you get a bill about your website, you can check that who is, to see if you don't know anything about where your website is hosted or where the URL, the domain, is registered. You can search it up online. You can contact us and we'll help you do that if you can't figure it out. And like Jeremy had showed, oftentimes you can check the footer, and sometimes it says there where your, the website company. But yeah, so check your email history, to see what information comes up for hosting or registrar, and check the Better Business Bureau website. All right. Any comments or anything that somebody wants to share about that? Okay. Next item is the update from the disaster response team. So last week I mentioned about how if your church is doing that flood buckets ministry, that there has been an update, not the contents itself, but where to ship the flood buckets to, or hygiene buckets or ash sifter buckets, any of those, same thing, hang on to them and contact Tom Maddock, our disaster response chair, and he will let you know where you can send them. But it's not going to Sager Brown or the whatever depot anymore. Every conference is supposed to hang on to them. So Tom Maddock can let you know where there's a drop-off location near your church. Or if the drop-off locations are full, he'll let you know, well, you got to hang on to them until whenever. So keep that in mind. This time I did send you the link, and I will send it again in the follow-up. And then there's also 2 trainings that are coming up. One is the ERT training on September 17th. So if someone at your church hasn't been ERT certified in the past and is wanting to do something, go and volunteer to help some areas that are either recovering from fires, recovering from flood, or tornado, all sorts of stuff, they will need to be certified first. So they need to get registered there. And if they have been certified and it's been a while, they can recertify now virtually with that October 1st training. Is there any questions about that? If you have someone at your church that was certified and they're not sure like when they should renew, just contact Tom Maddock. It's well, I'll include the email in my follow-up. Do you have a comment, Michael, or a question?
Well, yeah, I had a question about the registration for that training. Is that training posted on the conference website, or where do we get that information?
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to include links to both of them and in my follow-up email, but they both should be posted on the conference website calendar. For the first one's on September 17th and the other one's on October 1st. I'll double check when we're done here to make sure that they are posted. If not, then I'll get them posted. We're working on creating these new committee pages for the redesign of the website, and disaster response has their own committee page. It's already ready, but we're not adding them all to the existing menu system because that's all going to change. We're trying to make it really easy for people to find stuff. As soon as you're on the home page and you go to the menu, you'll find all of the committees and you'll find all the event information, trainings, resources, videos, whatever that has to do with that topic is going to be on that committee page. So yeah, so I was just wondering, should I go ahead and send you guys the link to that one? I probably shouldn't because it's not, I don't think that I have approval yet that it is ready for public consumption. But I will send you guys the direct links to each of those trainings that I mentioned. Since we're talking about direct links and trainings, I'll just sidestep for a moment about the West District. Quick reminder on some trainings that are happening already this next month on cultural competency training. This isn't the train the trainer. This is the actual cultural competency training. So any of you pastors that didn't make it to the gathering or missed the training there, you can come to this training, but also your church lay leader, your council chair, your finance chair, your trustees chair, SPRC chair, all of those people are invited to attend the training at First UMC in Sun City on September 9th from 9 to 12, or Gila Mountain UMC on September 10th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., or First UMC in Glendale on September 17th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'll include the dates and links to those registrations for those 3 training events for the West District in my follow-up. All righty. Questions about that? Good, because I don't have any answers. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead. Go ahead, Cynthia.
If you want to attend one of those, if you will send me an email, I'll need your church name and your position because they're limited to 30 people each. So yeah. So just send an email to me. I'll put my email. Are you doing that, Christina? My email address in it. Yeah.
All right. Yes, I will include that instruction to contact Cynthia Holly to register for any of those classes by emailing her. So I'll include that in my follow-up notes and her email address. I'll put that in the chat now in case you want to email her now. All righty. So next item is save the date. So this one's going to be a really exciting event. I know it's October 29th. It's right before Halloween. Who knows? People have plans and whatever. But I can't urge you I can't, like, if I could force everyone to be there, this would be the thing that I would try to get everyone to attend. It's scheduled to be 3 hours long. It might be a little less, but they want to make sure that you're planning for that full 3 hours in case it goes all that time. This is an event that, let's see, what can I tell you about it? So it was, I don't know if it's recommended, if that's the right word, but our bishop right now is going to be contacting, or if maybe he already did, all of the district superintendents, and the district superintendents will be reaching out to churches that maybe already have that strong potential, or have been having a conversation or thinking about doing housing development. So this is for churches that have property and don't know what should we do first or next, or maybe have property that is developed, but they're not really using it. Maybe if you had a humongous sanctuary and but you really only have 100 people attending, so you don't need a 1,500 person space anymore, and it's just sitting there unused. For so many reasons, this housing development plan, project, whatever, could be the answer for your church, certainly for you community, as we all know that housing is a major issue right now in Arizona. I think Nevada too, but I don't really know as much about Nevada. Shame on me. Homelessness is just going way up, and the cost of housing is ridiculous. So what I learned about, it's this organization called FACE that has already been, they've been offering the C2 leadership. I don't know if any leadership institute, and they're going to offer that at the Desert Southwest Conference as well. They've been doing this in CalPAC and have found tremendous growth and value in doing the housing development and the C2 Leadership Institute. The housing development, I was shocked to find out that the church, in some of the stories that I heard about, the church really had like $0 to under $100 financial investment in this multi-million-dollar housing development, and then it ended up getting a revenue stream out of it as well. So there's that to think about, but also just the families that are impacted by having this affordable housing in your community. And the light at the end of the tunnel, the bridge to make that happen, was a United Methodist Church, in partnership with FACE. But it's just, they're incredible stories. I'm excited for you all to attend this event, because you're going to hear from church leaders that are doing this, and hear about the concerns that they had, what it was like telling their community about it and getting them to support this idea, how easy it was to do it, because the developers do 99.9% of the work and the fundraising and all of that. And to be on the other side of it, and to see, to be able to share the stories of that impact, and how it's not only on the housing development, but the impact on their own church, and how it revitalized their ministries, and the growth that they saw in their church too, because of this housing development project. It's like, I hope you get, this is like really exciting. And I hope that you all can make it. I know clergy are going to be invited to attend. And it's a Zoom session, so you don't have to travel anywhere. But yeah, clergy will be invited to attend. I'm not sure how it works about the other church leaders that will be invited to attend, I think. But I know that one major component that they're hoping for this event is that churches will host a watch party, so that even if your church is not at all ready to do anything like this, this watch party gives your congregation an opportunity to hear about it, learn about it, and just think about it and have a conversation about it. So that's all it would be. And at that point, if it turns out like, yeah, that's all fine and dandy, but yeah, we're not going to tear down our sanctuary to do that, or no, our land's supposed to be whatever, then that's fine. At least now they know, and they can make that informed decision to move in whatever direction the Holy Spirit is calling them to move. So, all right, spent enough time on that. I'll move on. Let's see, the last item, it's just that I won't be hosting a Tuesday Talks next week, but you can definitely still send me your questions, comments, whatever. And I typically what I do is I try to respond via email with whatever answers I found, and then I bring that to the next week's Tuesday Talks. So if something comes up, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm not hosting one next week just because it's a holiday week. I think that the conference office is closed on Monday. So I'm anticipating I'll have a lot to catch up on Tuesday. So, and that's the day that the Episcopal candidate profile information is going to be posted on the Western Jurisdiction website. So I'll be busy with some of that work as well. So, all right, that's it. Unless anybody has something to share or ask, nothing? Okay, then thank you all for joining me today.